Hey everybody, this is Mr. View, and I am here to talk about imperialism today. We've talked about this a little bit in the past, right? Imperialism is the domination of one country by another country. Expansion. Know it, sucker. You know what I'm talking about? So imperialism means that one country controls another country. A mother country controls a colony, if you will. Just like the United States, before they were the United States, they were controlled by England. We were a colony, and England was an imperialist country. So if you try to expand, if your country tries to expand and control other countries, you're considered imperialist. And back then, way back before World War I, and even after World War I, even now today, there's imperialism, right? So there's some reasons for it. It doesn't just happen by accident. It's not just because people are being jerks. It's because they want something, right? If it was just a land full of desert, nobody's taking it over. There's reasons for imperialism and why one country wants to take over another. The first reason for imperialism or expanding your empire is economic. Money, cold hard cash, right? Economic means money, and the mother country wants money from somebody else for free. The need for natural resources. So maybe they have something cool that the mother country needs, maybe like oil today, right? But back then they might have some coal or gold or whatever they have, and they want that for free. So they go take over a smaller country. Also, it's new markets to sell goods. So if I control Withers Land way over there, I say, hey, Withers Land, you got to buy my stuff at my price. I control you, so you have to buy my stuff at my price. That's one of the things that upset America when England was doing that to us. They basically said, you've got to buy our tea or our whatever for our price. And America's like, well, why can't we get it from Spain? And we couldn't because we were the colony. So a new market to sell goods, that's important. You always have income coming in. And it's also somewhere to send new population. So if America became too big, I could send a bunch of my people over to Withers Land and be fine, and we wouldn't be overpopulated. So that's a big deal right now. We think that China might be imperialist and may be trying to expand to other countries. We fear China a great deal because they have a humongous population, right? And they've got to have somewhere to send that population. A colony is a great place to send that. So the first reason for imperialism, economic, money. You need new resources. You have new markets to sell your goods, and you can send your population somewhere. The second reason for imperialism or expanding your empire is military. The need for military bases, right? So if I don't like Withers Land, I might take over a small country by him, like Haines Land, and put a bunch of military bases there just in case Withers does something stupid. I can attack him from Haines Land. It also stops other countries from expanding. So America doesn't want China necessarily to take over Cuba, right? Because Cuba is too close to the United States. And if China takes over Cuba, they can send missiles our way very easily, or they can attack us very easily. So we don't want Canada or Cuba or anybody around us, Mexico, being taken over by one of our enemies. So we take them over, or we have good relations with them, just so that doesn't happen. And if I have it, you don't, right? If I have Cuba, China, Mexico, Canada, China can't have those. So that's a very good thing for us. So the first reason for imperialism is economic reasons. The second reason for imperialism, military, right? We want to be safe. Oh, we need some help sometimes. Oh, isn't that a cute picture? Those puppies. The third reason for imperialism or expanding your empire is to help the needy. So back then, they said that one of the major reasons for expansion is to spread religion, and especially Christianity. If you were from Europe, you were generally Christian, and you wanted to spread your religion to these countries that were heathen, right? You wanted to make sure that these African countries had God in their life. So you were spreading religion to them and helping them be saved. Also, you could help medically, right? You could send your doctors over there and help them out if they had a very low expectation of life, or you were only supposed to live 40 years. They might go over there and make sure that everything was cleaned up and add those industrial revolution inventions to those countries that were third world-ish. And then they make sure that people had law and that people were not being taken advantage of, especially like nowadays we go into these countries and we try to make sure that the women have the same rights as men. And we kind of force our ways of life upon these other countries, right or wrong. That's what we try to do. We make sure that no part of the population is being really held down or held back or treated unfairly. So the third reason for imperialism or expanding your empire is helping the needy. First reason, money. Second reason, military. Third reason, helping. How is Europe able to gain all this land? They go to China and Africa and these Middle Eastern countries and they thump them. And why do they thump them? Well, number one, Europe had strong economies. Those European countries like England and France and Germany, etc., had really strong economies, partially because of the Industrial Revolution. They had made a lot of money, and so they had these strong economies, which in turn boosted their armies, got them a lot of great weaponry, and their government was among those strong entities, if you will. They were not weak governments for the most part. They might be corrupt, but they certainly weren't weak. They did have superior technology too. They had machine guns, they had warships, they had great medicine. If their army guys got hurt, they were able to fix them up and not just die of an infection because of these Industrial Revolution advances with antiseptics and anesthetics and these things like that. So their superior technology was a big deal. I mean, you give me a machine gun and Mike Tyson a rock, I like my shot of winning that fight, right? Because I've got the machine gun. So these were not fair fights when they go to, say, a small African nation and just destroy them because they've got machine guns and they've got these warships that'll smack you with bombs and things like that. So it wasn't really a fair fight. What does this cartoon imply? Now look at this cartoon very closely. And in the middle, you'll see a guy with a top hat. Stereotypically England, right? And he's got his hands. He's like an octopus. And he's got his hand on India and Egypt and Canada and Jamaica and all these other places, right? What's that signify with what we are talking about today? That's going to be one of your questions. So answer all questions, please. They are on the Google Classroom, and I hope that you learned something about imperialism. Remember, it's expanding your country, taking somebody over and ruling them because you want their money, you want to have a good military base there, and maybe you want to help the needy. Although really it's about the money. Don't let anybody fool you. All right, I'll talk to you soon. This has been Mr. View. Bye-bye.